Hi guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another episode of I Like Trains. Today we're here with another ERTL unboxing, and it is none other than everyone's favourite tram engine, Toby himself. So as I quite rightly said in the last video, every 100 subscribers we hit on the channel, it will be a brand new ERTL unboxing, and we have just hit 300 subscribers. So we're going to go ahead and get Toby unboxed, go in for a little closer look at him, and obviously go through a little bit of history of his character. So enjoy. Toby was first introduced in 1952 by the Reverend W. Awdry, and he was introduced in the Railway Series number 7 book, Toby the Tram Engine. Now, his first appearance was Toby and the Stout Gentleman, and that was first released in 1984. Now, in regards to Toby's history, he was actually working on a tramway between Lower Arsdale and Arsdale's End before being bought by Sir Topham Hatt, the Fat Controller, after his line closed down, and he ran the tramway between Farquhar Quarry. Now, his line would later be reopened as part of the North Western Railway, and at a time, of course, he did spend time at Tidmouth Sheds as well as the Farquhar Sheds as well, and he does have a trusty little coach called Henrietta. So originally in real life, Toby is based on a J70 class. Now, they were actually originally referred to as a class C53, and they were an 060 tram steam locomotive, and they were designed by James Holden for the Great Eastern Railway. They were actually passed to the London North Eastern Railway as the groupings, obviously, and they became the Big Four, and they actually received the LNER classification of J70 for them. So Toby in the Railway Series would actually have been known as a class C53, but then obviously by the time obviously the television series came around, he would have been known as a J70. But yeah, I mean, if we have a look at the model overall, I think the model's overall pretty decent. I think that face, from what I can see in the plastic packaging, looks pretty accurate. I mean, I think it's a pretty good face. Obviously the cow catchers look quite nicely done. All the wooden panels here for himself as well look quite nicely done. So yeah, I think it's been quite done to a nice detail, this model, from what I can see. So it was actually released in 3 different versions. So of course, obviously you had the original 80s version when ERTL first released him, and then of course he was re-released in the late 80s, early 90s, and then he has been re-released. So this re-release has been done in 2003. And then of course obviously it's been done in this new packaging again. So I'll read it out to you. His collector's card number 19, Toby. Toby is an old-fashioned both in looks and outlook. Every engine, no matter how old, wants to be really useful, and having once nearly been scrapped, Toby is always happy to work. And as well he should. This is quite an old boy in terms of the series. He's one of almost like, I'd sort of describe him as a grandfather of the series, but like I say, it was released under the Brit Allcroft Company, based on the Railway Series, Reverend W. Awdry, by ERTL Thomas Limited, 2003. So yeah, it's quite a little old collectible now, and originally, it's like I've turned around and said before, if I can get these cheap enough, then of course, obviously, I will do an unboxing. But it all depends if I can get them cheap enough. Now, I got brought up in the 90s, and of course obviously you had the original packaging in the 90s, and those ones I will keep in pristine condition. This packaging I have no nostalgia over whatsoever, so I have no qualms about opening it, depending if the packaging is decent or not. And like I say, as you can see here, there's some scuffs all around the edge, there's some creases, and I got this fairly cheap, so I thought it would make a fun unboxing, so let's just go ahead and get him out the packaging. Toby is a tram engine. He is short and sturdy. He has cow catchers and side plates, and doesn't look like a steam engine at all. He takes trucks from farms and factories to the main line, and the big engines take them from London and elsewhere. His tram line runs along roads and through fields and villages. Toby rings his bell cheerfully to everyone he meets. So yeah, here is the model anyway. So like I say, we'll go ahead and get this unboxed. Like I say, this sort of hit error in terms of Thomas packaging. I don't have any nostalgia over it at all, because this was really to the point that I was not watching the show at all. I really wasn't. So It was only when it was sort of under the Brit Allcroft company that I was watching the show. So let's go ahead and get this completely unboxed. I wonder as well if there'll be one of these little sort of leaflets in here like the previous ERTL unboxing I did. And yes, there is. Now, I would like to be able to actually open one of these intact and maybe keep one of these first of all. And I can. This one is not stuck. So yeah, there is one of your collect your favourite Thomas and Friends with ERTL. So we've got Annie, Clarabelle, Douglas, Henrietta, Duck and Terence. Now I believe the last one I had Emily on it, so that's a bit unusual. I'm assuming they all had different characters on, depending on what leaflet you got with the model. So that's quite nice. We'll probably keep that just sort of as a little memento of the unboxing. But yeah, we've got him unboxed, so obviously we'll get him out and we'll take a look. I promise these are a lot easier to get out. I just think I'm making a complete faff of this personally. And there we go. There is Toby. So let's get him out. And first of all, what I want to say is I think that face is brilliant. I actually think that's a really, really well done face. The only criticism I might have is the cabin windows might just be a little bit too big compared to his face, and his face might be a bit small compared to them. But other than that, I would say actually it's a pretty decent model. It's got a nice fair amount of weight to it as well. It's quite hefty, nice. I think the roof here as well looks quite nice. Obviously you've got his bell and obviously his chimney there. I think that's quite nice. I think the wood panels have been done to a really nice finish, and the cow catcher I think has been done to a fairly decent standard. I think you probably could have had a bit more gloss here on the cow catcher, but I think the wood panels more than make up for it. I think the number 7 has been done to a really good finish on the side there, to the point they've captured the red and the yellow for his number 7. Obviously you've got his lamp there, and I think even the buffers as well as obviously the coupling rods I think have been done to a really good standard as well. Obviously we've got no detail inside of the cab, but obviously we're not expecting that from ERTL. I don't think they've ever actually done that or delved into that. And the side windows obviously blacked out, which I'm not surprised, otherwise, you know, that's just going to go into a whole lot more detail. Now, from what I understand with this model, so like I say, this one was re-released in 2003. Based off what I remember of having one in the 90s of this one, and I've never owned one from the original 80s lineup of ERTL, I don't think obviously this is I don't think they've retooled this model at all. I think it's literally just been purely a re-release. The face I think might have been updated. Bearing in mind the original 80s one had a paper face, but the 90s one didn't, and they might have re-updated that. But other than that, I think the rest of the model is predominantly probably the same. But like I say, it's been done to a really nice standard. And obviously you've got the writing underneath there, ERTL 2003 Thomas and Friends. But yeah, it's been done really nicely. Like I say, that face, I think that face is pretty good. I would say that's pretty accurate to the show. One thing I will note about some of these ERTL models though that I have come across is that some of the characters never seem to actually look at you. They have to seem to be looking away, which is a bit unusual. But other than that, like I say, I think it's been a good model. The wheels seem to be quite free rolling, so no issue there. And obviously in terms of kids wanting to play with it, so yeah, what I think we'll do is obviously we'll put him down and then we'll go in for a little closer look. So that's been another episode of I Like Trains unboxing Toby the tram engine from the ERTL line. I really hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, click that subscribe button because we will have plenty more coming up. Not just I Like Trains, but obviously through the Off the Rail series. But like I say, every 100 subscribers we hit, we will unbox a brand new ERTL model from the Thomas and Friends line. Potentially another line or two as well. But that might be for special occasions because they're quite rare, so I'll leave it at that. If you do want to see them, make sure you hit that button. Other than that, really hope you've enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks guys.